This reading is for Paige. Paige, thank you for allowing me to do your reading tonight. So what this is a love reading, but this is a love reading that's geared towards a relationship that's over or on the rocks. So this is a different kind of layout, and we'll go over it together. The first card that I'm going to show you is a card that talks about what ties you to. What is the bond that's continuing to tie the two of you together? And what that card is telling me is that during the time that the two of you were together, you really found that deep acceptance in each other that you didn't find with other people. You definitely had a good understanding of some of the past struggles that you both faced. And so that kind of gave you guys this unique and tight bond. That's the foundation. The second card that I pulled is talking about some of the lessons that you learned from being in this relationship with him. And so in the Five of Pentacles reversed, it does seem like you both came into each other's lives at a time where maybe you were both having some struggles in your personal lives. Previously, you probably both were having periods of feeling just really alone and kind of rejected. But it's like when the two of you were together, you learned from each other. You learned to open up again and find some of that hope again. So that was what you were able to teach each other, was basically, there's hope. It goes on. You can have bonds and companionship in life again, and it doesn't always have to be this feeling of rejection from others. During your relationship, this is the Three of Swords, and as you can see, it is three swords that are piercing a heart. So what this card represents to me is that during the relationship, there definitely was some significant hurt that took place, unkind words that were passed back and forth, and definitely some disappointment on both ends with each other. Paige, without these challenges, you wouldn't have developed a real clear idea of what you want and don't want in future relationships. And that's kind of the reason why these things happen, especially in relationships when we're very young. The hurt and the pain that you went through, that was very temporary, but the lessons that you get out of that, they last a lifetime. So it does feel like you were definitely learning compassion as well. It seems like he was going through some struggles within himself. He had these deep insecurities of his own, and so it's like you learned how to work through the anger and resentment in that and kind of find a place of compassion in regards to that. Now, during the relationship, this is what this card is talking about for him. He definitely took things and you for granted. That's a given. He soon regretted that. It's just, he was really going through this period of being very discouraged with himself, a little bit unmotivated, not working towards anything, but still being really unhappy with his own life situation. He was just really bored with life and with himself, basically, during your relationship, and that's kind of where a lot of these issues with him stemmed from. With you, we're definitely committed to putting the work into this relationship. You really wanted things to work and for him to open up more. It's definitely a period of learning and discovering, issues in yourself too that you needed to overcome. So, you were really ready to share your life with him, and he noticed that in you for sure. That's a given. So basically, in the middle of that read, I did have a clear vision that came through that was talking about the fact that somebody new is going to be entering your life, and I just wanted to bring that up at this point because this is the point of the read that came up for me. This does feel like it's somebody that you may have met through work or in some type of study group or study, but definitely somebody that you're side by side with. So it does feel like there is somebody new coming up in the relationship, and that actually came through in the read twice, but this was the first time it came through, so I'm bringing it up to you now because that's where I had made a side note about it. Okay, so where he is now as far as things go, you know, his emotions are very restrained at this point. It does feel like he's pretty much made up his mind on where he wants to be at in his life right now. He's not going to be easily swayed from that. You know, as you can see by this card, this is a man who's just very, you know, stern and in his place of where he wants to be, you know, just very cool and controlled. It doesn't feel like he's somebody who right now is very capable of showing romantic emotion all the way around, be it with you or with her. He's just very much in himself and with where and what he wants to be and where he's headed. He's just, you know, very determined in the decision that he made, and it doesn't feel like there's anything that you can do to change the path that he's headed on. Okay, so this card is talking about what you might be needing for your own growth right now with that information. So yeah, it definitely feels like the marriage between him and this other female is going to be moving forward. So, you know, where does that bring you? It's kind of a time for you to start to tie up some loose ends, that's for sure, as far as things with him go. And it doesn't mean that it's permanent, you know, and you definitely have the free will to decide to try to do otherwise. But as for your own growth and your own healing, I do feel like, you know, it's best for you to put this to rest at this point. You definitely have the resilience in you to bounce back from this and to, you know, make your life and this future relationship that's coming in better. And you use what you've learned from this relationship with him to do that. You know, take those lessons and apply them. You know, cherish those memories. The good, you know, definitely, you know, use that as a stepping stone for what you want more of in the future. And the bad, you know, definitely use that as a lesson, as something that you want to be careful and mindful of not to experience again. You know, again, there is this other relationship that's coming in, and it's coming in very soon. You know, 6 months out at the most, but it could be much, much sooner than that. You know, it could be 6 weeks. It comes in with the number 6. So, or maybe we're looking as far out as June possibly, but, you know, it's coming. So it definitely is time to take the next steps towards preparing for that. There was a name that came through. It's kind of an odd name. It was the name that sounded very similar to an Ernie. I don't know if you know somebody with that name, but somebody with an Ernie name working in something like food service or where they would wear an apron type thing did come through. I don't know for sure that that's the guy, but I did have a vision of somebody in your life similar to that. So maybe he has someone like that has a friend who you're going to meet, or there's some kind of connection that came through in that regard. As for the future, near future contact and things like that with this ex who's getting married, I do feel like he is from time to time going to try to get in touch with you. This is going to be mostly at times where he's having troubles in this marriage. You know, yeah, you're going to want to answer the phone. You're going to want to have that contact for a little while, but I really feel like that communication, because it's never going to be consistent or be fulfilling to you, is going to make you feel really imbalanced. And the healthier you get and the further you get in your own self-love and self-growth, I really feel like there's going to come a point where you're going to ask that to stop, or you're just going to stop answering your phone at all in that regard. So, yeah, it does feel like you've been working on some small personal journeys of your own, and you know, maybe you're not feeling like you've made a lot of progress with some of that stuff, so now would really be the time to start to focus and work harder in those areas. Just take some time to, plan and manifest the things you want for your future. Start, keeping a journal or a list, writing things down that you're grateful for, and maybe make a dream board of things you'd like to have for the future to stay focused on. Again, you are about to find yourself in this new relationship, so I really want you to start to do the self-help work that it takes so that you can make it the healthiest and most fulfilling relationship possible. And our last couple of cards, just because I know you probably have a little bit more that you want to know in regards to, this man and this ex for the future. So your feelings a few years from now, of course you're going to think about him every now and again. You might be sitting there and suddenly your mind wanders to, thinking about what might have been with him, or, what his life might be like now, or you might hear a little snippet of something, from his life. And at that point, though, I really feel like you're going to have moved so far into your future that any thoughts that you have are definitely going to be without regret, and you're going to have this feeling of everything happens for a reason, and really feel like, you know what, our time was really special together, and, we had these good points and these memories that we've created, but I'm very grateful that I was spared from that relationship. And his feelings about you, years down into the future, when he remembers you, this card pretty much says it all. He's going to think of you as, again, someone he shared just this passionate bond with, and he's going to admire the confidence that you will have developed over the years, and the courage that you're going to use to succeed. I do feel like you're going to be thought of him definitely. What this card represents, a queen on her throne, the positive energy that goes along with that. But also I think that he's going to look at you as someone who is far beyond him, well out of his league. So those will be his thoughts about you into the future. And again, just one more card, to just pull everything together and to confirm, the outcome of all this. And, there's just this feeling that you have, I know, about, just that yucky someone else is taking my place, and she's not. That feeling is definitely going to fade as you come into your own destiny. There's so much more that's awaiting you, something so much greater. And you may kind of feel like this other female is blocking your path to your future with this guy, but really what she's doing is she's holding the door open for you, wide open for you to jump in and have someone and something so much better. And as hard as that is to think about right now, because you are in a place of just still wanting, and the what ifs, and the feeling of permanence, that it's over with him when you don't want it to be over with him, and all that mix of emotion that comes, but time is going to heal that. And all of this is happening for a reason. And so, Paige, I hope you are okay with this reading. I know it's not everything that you wanted to hear and more, but it is the spirit messages that came through. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to message me at any point. I love you lots and lots and lots, and I'll be here for you on your journey.